In this video I'm going to look at how we graph two categorical variables together. So that's if we want to split one categorical variable up by another, and what we're going to end up with is something like this with a stacked percentage bar chart, so we can compare the percentage of females and males who are vegetarian. So in SPSS we'll go to Chart Builder. I'll just reset that. So the first option here for two variables is the clustered, and you certainly can use this. Sometimes if you've got several categories within these colours, this is a more useful graph. If I do this for these variables, gender and vegetarian, the gender didn't go in. There we go. This is fine if we're trying to demonstrate the numbers involved. If we want to actually compare these proportions, it's a little bit difficult to do with the clustered bar chart, and that's where I'd probably go to the stacked one. You can actually just drag that on top and it will keep the variables and change it over to a stacked. So you'll see this is exactly the same, except these two numbers have been stacked on top of each other. So it's a little bit easier now to compare the proportions, but because we don't have equal sample sizes, it's not going to be very accurate. This is a fairly simple example, but in more complicated ones it can get very difficult. So this is where you probably want to change the count to be a percentage. Now you need the element properties. If that's not showing up, you should have a button here to toggle that on. Where it says count, we want to look for percentage. Then we have to tell it how we want to calculate that percentage. If you leave it at the grand total, it will calculate the percentages by looking at the number of females who are vegetarian, but then dividing it by the total number, not just by the females, and that's not really what we want. We want the second option here, where it does the number of vegetarians in the female group just out of the females, and then does the males separately. You can also use this third option. It is useful in some cases. I think when you're just starting it can get a little bit confusing, so stick with the first one and click apply, and then you'll see the percentage change over to the side. So now we can see that out of 100% of females, a bit more than 20% were vegetarian, and out of 100% of males, slightly fewer than 80%, maybe 15, were vegetarian. And of course you can double click into these graphs and you can make changes, say to the labels on the axis or to the colours.